Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's blessed. So, I did a video yesterday talking about my favourite UFC fighter, Edson Barbosa was my favourite UFC fighter, and in the comment section, people were asking me a few questions. Who was my favourite boxer? Who was my favourite K1 kickboxer? So I'm going to go with my favourite K1 kickboxer today. So I'm going to tell you who my favourite K1 kickboxer is. I remember being in school and getting into boxing and looking in at combat sports, and I remember being in computer studies. I think it was IT at the time. Back in the days, you didn't have no iPhones, or you couldn't just walk around and watch YouTube anytime you wanted to. So when we got into this computer studies, IT, I remember I used to always sit in the corner and just go on YouTube and watch fights and stuff like that. I remember typing the best fight in the world, and I'll tell you the two fights that popped up at the time. It was Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward, and Mike Zambidas versus some Moroccan bloke. And when I watched this fight, I was like, Jesus, wow. And it brought me on to Mike Zambidas, Iron Mike Zambidas. So I started to watch Iron Mike Zambidas. I started to follow his stuff, and I was instantly hooked on his highlight reels, his knockouts, and I found out that I seen that he was fighting anyone and everyone. He was always in these Grand Prix tournaments, these K1 kickboxing Grand Prix tournaments back in the day, and he always seemed to be up there with the best. He was always in the semi-finals or the finals. I mean, these guys were having 6 to 8 fights in one night. They were killing each other, and it was, it was phenomenal to watch. And Iron Mike Zambidas, hence the name Iron Mike, he was like the typical small, compact, tight movement, always coming forward, always moving off the centre line, and his combinations were killer. His combinations were fast, they were powerful, and every time he threw a shot, he was throwing a shot with bad intentions. Even a jab was hard, a jab, hook, kick. His combinations were phenomenal. I loved the way he used to set up the leg kicks. He used to kick on the way and kick on the way out. He was always shorter than his opponents as well, so his leg kicks were phenomenal. His hooks, his power, his durability, everything he was class at. I quickly become hooked on Iron Mike Zambidas, and then I sort of tried to base my style around that type of style of fighting. And because I knew I was always going to be shorter than, because I was fighting in heavyweight at kickboxing, at K1 kickboxing, and I always knew I was going to be the shorter guy. So I just tried to emulate Iron Mike Zambidas, getting on the inside, firing away, firing on the way in, firing on the way out, finishing off in a kick on the way in, finishing off in a kick on the way out. That was my secret. I would always go 1-2 left hook kick, 1-2 left hook right hand kick. I would always finish off on a kick. I would always kick on the way in and kick on the way out, especially leg kicks. That was the only, I never really kicked high. And when I watched Mike Zambidas, he was always low kick, low kick, low kick. And the reason why he always did this with the low kicks is because the guys he was fighting were always taller than him. They were always, very taller than him. The same like myself, when I was fighting in heavyweight, these guys were always massive. So I felt like the ultimate weapon for the shorter guy against the taller guy was leg kicks. Bosh. But yeah, Iron Mike Zambidas was my all-time favourite. My favourite K1 kickboxer to watch. I'm a massive fan of Iron Mike Zambidas. The little Greek was a monster. Go watch his highlight reels on YouTube, guys. You will not be disappointed. Take care, guys. God bless.